Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Chase. So today we're going to be doing a overall market outlook. We'll check out alts, and then we'll break down to BTC, ETH, all that good stuff. As usual, big shout out to PrimeXBT for sponsoring this video. 50% deposit bonus using my link and code at the bottom of the screen. At the beginning of the last video, actually, I tell you how to really take advantage of that bonus. So check that out if you want to see it. All right, so let's get into this. Right, the first thing I want to do is, I guess let's talk about the overall. Just crypto space right now. I'm not really one to, talk about the on-chain or the OTC or all those things. I'm more about the charts, right? But obviously, there's a good amount of people on CT who are very intelligent with that stuff. And basically, what we know or what we're supposed to believe is that this was an institutional-led, spot-led rally. Okay. So the first thing basically I think of is, well, a lot of these institutions want Bitcoin, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean that they want, like I put a tweet out about this before, it doesn't necessarily mean that they want your alt that has a 10 million market cap, okay? Frankly, there's not enough liquidity for them to play in that pool. That's where more or less retail will eventually come in and really play in those smaller liquidity pools and bring all those altcoins up. But right now, I think it's pretty obvious that Bitcoin is still the main the center focus basically of everything, and I think it's obvious. I'll show you these charts. So right here we have BTC on the 4 hour, okay? There's ETH on the 4 hour. Look at the difference. I mean, frankly, this looks like a major breakout and a potential flag here for BTC, right? And honestly, this looks like more of a deviation. I'm not saying this is going to happen, right? But that's what it looks like so far. These two charts do not look anything the same for this move. They look the same here. They look the same here. But this is very different. And I was telling everyone yesterday on CT, I happened to catch what I thought was the shakeout wick, as I call it. And these always happen. After large runs, you eventually get a big shakeout wick. Dig back in history a little bit, but it basically always happens. You can see it here. Big run, huge shakeout. Run, big shakeout, and this big wick, and it gets follow-up. It did break back down, but point being is you often get these big shakeout wicks at the top of these runs, okay? So I thought that, hey, look at this shakeout wick. And what did I expect to happen? Well, I expected it to shake out. Let's change this color so we can see it better. Okay, there we go. So I expected a shakeout, a retest, and probably a rejection from this area right here, right? And then I expected it to maybe do something like this, and then come back up. Now, we're not getting that whatsoever. This is not looking at all like the Bitcoin breakout. So that tells me, and yeah, sorry about the dog. And so that tells me, as I said the other day, that, I'm not personally all-inning into alts yet, right? Because, well, I never really would. But I heard a lot of people saying, time to stock up, get ready for the big run. Even if we look over to YFI, like I typically use YFI as my indicator. It's typically BTC leads, right? And then ETH follows. And then YFI typically leads the DeFi blue chip, so to say. And then you have your smaller coins that follow up. But we haven't seen much of that at all. We've basically seen a small pump and basically an instant retracement on most of these coins. So I'm not in a huge rush to get into alts. I put out a big tweet on that the other day. I said that, people are going to try to catch every single pump and they're going to load up on alts. And I didn't say I was bearish or anything like that, but I did say to tread cautiously or, tread slowly basically. And you only need 2 or 3 bags to start. Don't put into so many bags and then you get some type of a major or decent retracement on Bitcoin, and all those bags are literally going to instantly die. Not go to zero, but you know what I mean. You're going to be down 20, 30% instantly on all your bags, and you're not going to have any, dry powder left to, restock those bags or get in at better prices. And we also know that you don't just get, all the alts don't go 100x overnight, okay? I was here during the 2017 run, and I was also here for the DeFi season just recently. During DeFi season, what was happening? We weren't seeing, every single coin in existence do a 5x overnight. you saw a 5x, and then you saw another 5x the next day, then you saw another 5x the next day, then you saw another 5x the next day. So what's the point? Why am I repeating myself? The point is that you're not going to miss every single coin just because you're not immediately positioned right now, with the expectation that, oh, I have to be positioned because what if every single thing pumps at the same exact time? It's not really how it works. You're going to have an opportunity to get in. All right, so let's move over to YFI real quick because this is something I was watching, and we'll just go down to this very low time frame here. I think I was watching it on the 5. I've been waiting for this move for 2 days now, and it turned out that I just got stopped out on it. I took a half loss, basically 0.5R, posted that in the tweet this morning as well, that I was taking a half risk long. So what happened on YFI? Look, we have basically the moment of breakout for BTC was here. Okay, YFI pumps, puts in a range high, right? Puts in a range low, deviates the high, goes to the low, deviates the low, doesn't go to the high, first sign of weakness, comes back to the low again, comes back to the low again, back to the low again, then you sort of have like an inverse head and shoulders type situation right here. And at that point, I really thought that I was watching this resistance and I was saying, okay, well, let me see this resistance flip and it should go, right? And then it turned out that we broke down and we started having this resistance here, and then you had sort of a downtrend line that was coming. So you could have saw all that confluence, but I was sleeping during that time. Right once you broke through there, it was probably sort of go time. But even with this range, right, broke out of the range, couldn't hold the range high, and then couldn't even hold this previous resistance level. Where's the strength here? That's what I'm trying to figure out, because this doesn't look strong to me. Now it could come back up, right? This could just be like a fake out for, the next day or two, to where, ETH is just looking weak and, YFI is just looking weak, and it's just a matter of me not being patient enough. That, that's perfectly possible. But at that point, I would still refer to this chart and say, big difference here, right? Very big difference. That's all I can see is a huge difference. And I still have the ETH long open from 625. I've taken profits multiple times now, between the 660s, 640s, just because I don't see this as extremely strong right now for ETH, just when I look at these two charts. If ETH was supposed to follow, and like I said, with the institutions, maybe they're just interested in Bitcoin, and I think it does obviously move over to ETH a little bit, but it seems like the main focus is still on Bitcoin, because should this have not given this wick and then just immediately taken off like Bitcoin has taken off into the 700s, rather than literally if we break below this level, we're going back to the origin of the breakout, that just seems weak to me. That does not seem strong. So to wrap up this segment of the video, I'm not in some massive rush to be positioned in a ton of alts. I don't think you need to be. I think the opportunities will eventually present themselves. As far as YFI goes, like I said, I thought this was a markup here, an accumulation range. I expected this to hold. It's going to be hard for me to have a lot of confidence getting back into YFI unless, maybe I'll give it another shot, right? If it comes up and it retests the range high and it looks like it's going to go, like it's going to break right there, right? We know how we do these. Then maybe I will, take one more long, stop back below, probably here, and I'm targeting roughly like 30,000. Okay, that's a good 3 to 4 hour trade right there, depending on how this area works out. But I got to see some strength, right? I can't just jump in and hope that things are going to go my way, because right now what we're seeing is, we're not seeing any type of extreme strength outside of on Bitcoin. The ETH breakout is weak and somewhat looks like a bouncing ball at the moment. Like I said, it might come back up and just go, and so be it. But right now it looks like a bouncing ball, and bouncing balls usually break down. And again, where is the follow-up here? You have this monstrous breakout on BTC, and then you have YFI in this nice range right here, right? Fairly clean range, and all this buying interest right here, right? So we get big buying interest. Where's the follow-up? Like the YFI I know in this type of environment, extremely bullish environment, would have went from here and just kept going. It should have never even retested the high. It should have never retested this level. And now it broke below this level? I don't know. I just don't see it at the moment, guys. So, like I said, again, to wrap this up here, I'm not in a huge hurry to get into things. I was in Let's see. Yeah, this was Octo. I was in KSM, right? I got into KSM yesterday. I'll just show you one more example. I got into KSM yesterday on this consolidation. I said, oh, well, this, maybe this is the start of, alts starting to pump. And KSM is one of those that's been really strong. I've been waiting to get in around the high 30s. Never got my opportunity. I was like, okay, this thing's going to go, right? Just because of how the overall market and how strong it was. It does this and it instantly retraces. I mean, I cut my position by half because I just don't, why didn't it go? It just doesn't make sense to me that it didn't go. So I had like 2 alt positions. I instantly cut both of them by half when they went back to entry because I'm not in this for my things to go back to entry or stop me out. I thought in such a extremely bullish atmosphere that shit's gonna pop, and shit has not popped. And that's about it. Okay, so let's dig into the price action right here. We'll start on BTC. So, pretty strong rally up here. We may have some type of, it looks like, we're either doing the bouncing ball, right? Or it's possible that you could draw this as a falling wedge as well. But typically, these descending triangles do break up. So we'll see how that plays out. I think, we're going to see some strong consolidation in here, right? Let's just mark this out. We have a range high, we have a range low. What's sort of capping the market right now is this level. Or we could take this high. So puts in a low, comes up, puts in a high, tests it, gets rejected, comes up, gets rejected again. So I'd be interested to see what happens in this area. I do think it's difficult to, especially with this type of volatility, getting long or short on margin. And like I said, right when we started this run, I literally said, do not short. And I'm the type of person that doesn't say that. I'm always one to, play it short or long, whatever way it is. I don't care what people say. I don't care about the, all the normies. It's, oh, you're suppressing price because you're shorting, like stupid shit like that. I really don't care. But I said, do not short this because we don't know, how high and how fast it's going to go. And then you're having this type of volatility where you're getting, 1,500 points both ways in the matter of minutes sometimes with these wicks, right? So I have not been focusing heavily on margin trading this at the moment. More or less been focusing on ETH. I thought the ETH wick was quite clean. What I thought was the shakeout wick right near this level. It obviously didn't hit this on Coinbase, but on some of your margin exchanges, it did come down and hit all the way towards 625, just because of liquidations and whatnot. So it did push a little lower. This was the level I was watching. Very clean, basically retest here. Somewhat front run on Coinbase, which is, I suppose, bullish, but then how do you test it so many more times? That just seems very weird to me. And I do know that this video is not necessarily like the other ones. We're not necessarily digging deep into price action concepts and whatnot, but I think that, when you have a situation like this and a range like this right now, while it is tradable, it's obviously not necessarily my main focus. My main focus is being positioned for big movers. Okay, that's what I tried with YFI today. I thought that I was going to get in on this retest and catch, a 10% move over the next few hours. Didn't happen, but that's really what I want to see. I want to see SR flips. I want to see big movers, basically. ETH here. Let's just take a look. Yeah, so again, puts in a high there. Puts in a high, tests, comes up, deviation, breaks down again. We're going to want to see ETH above this level. We can obviously see the consolidation that led to the high, and that's where we get rejected. So through here, potential retest opportunity to get long. Again, I think we're in a very delicate situation, so if you are looking to trade these areas, I recommend somewhat sizing down, perhaps, do half risk until we see where we're at, because I don't want to, I don't necessarily, I think if I get long here, right, say I get long here, and we start moving up towards the 700s, that's okay that I'm half position, I'm still getting good profit, but I think there also is the possibility where we're just going to chop and range for a bit, as we can see with BTC here. It is possible to do something like this. I think there's a support level here, possible liquidity. If we look for taps of these areas, that's possible. Come down here, run liquidity back into the range, and then we should be off towards 25K or so. If it breaks down and flips this area to resistance, I would see us probably closer to 21 area right here. That looks pretty clean. Yeah, I'm just looking to see if there's anything else that I'm really interested in. This stream was just really off the top. Didn't really have any specific setups in mind, unfortunately. More what was on my mind today was just getting my overall view of the, current market dynamics. And I know just a lot of people, I feel like, were load up on alts, load up on alts, load up on alts. But I think I'm just here to tell you that you can take your time. Don't be afraid that you're going to miss the entire move. If you have projects that you really, really like, sure, hold it back. That's fine. But you don't have to go crazy and try to catch every single pump when right now it doesn't look like we're seeing any major pumps across the board. And I use ETH as my indicator, using YFI as my indicator, which typically leads all of these type of coins. I mean, we can look at DOT. DOT hasn't even reclaimed this previous level yet. Quick deviation, sold into. Outside of BTC, and it's tough to say because people, oh, what do you mean it's not bullish? What do you mean it's not bullish? I'm just talking short term, right? This could be bullish. It could break back up above here and go, right? And then alts could start to fire somewhere in here, right? Totally possible. But I'm just saying for the short term, right now, there's a potential that if BTC does break down and you could be stuck with a bunch of alt bags, that's going to feel shitty. And I don't see BTC breaking down too far, right? Back down below 19.4K, and I mean, I don't even know. I suppose a retest would be good for a bounce, but just look at this. Imagine that. Would that make any sense? Not at all. It shouldn't come back down here for, I couldn't see it back down here for months, maybe. Let me draw it and let me see what would look right to me. Something like this, something like that. We range more. Yeah, I mean, we're talking. Oh, I don't think I'm on a time frame that's giving me now that's even too soon, to be honest. Yeah, that's too soon. 15 days? No. That's because I was on the 30. Okay, let me do it again. Let's try this one more time. Range, fake, break below. Okay. Cut that out. Okay. This is just going strictly off the gut right here. Okay, so 20 to 30 days. Within like the, towards the end of the month, maybe I could see it, but even so, right? Like, imagine just coming back down here. It just wouldn't make any sense. And if we did, and this was some type of a massive deviation, that would be just the biggest trap of all time. And frankly, I just don't see it. I think, people are, waiting to buy at prices. I would want to see 21K hold. I don't think we're going much below there anytime soon. And I just think we're not seeing big follow-up from ETH and alts because I don't think that the institutions care that much about ETH and alts. And we're going to need to see BTC in the, we're going to need to see BTC to the point where normies are foaming at the mouth again. There's, it's just never going to stop going up. It's never going to stop going up. Whether that's at, 28K or maybe above 30K, that's when they're going to get their feet back in. And they're going to look at those coins that are 50 cents and shit and all that stuff, extremely low market caps. Hey, that's just my opinion, and I'm 100% open to change. Show me some strength on ETH. Show me some strength on YFI, and I'll change my tune really quick. And that's the thing about this game that a lot of people don't comprehend and aren't willing to do is that you have to be able to flip your bias like that. If you are stuck in your bias and you're not open to change, then you're going to miss a lot of money. I spent, from 7K to 9K on BTC being fairly bearish. I thought we topped out again around 14K. And, I took off some spot and whatnot as we went from 15K to 20K. Of course, I kept spot, but, I did take off some as well. And then when I saw just how strong we were, I said, look, I got to get long. Took a leverage long off 19K somewhere, rode it all the way up to around 22K. And then obviously, I'm still holding spot bags. So, and I'll be, like I said, I'll be willing to change my tune quickly on ETH or on alts. Just show me some strength. I know I'm not going to miss every single 100x if all of a sudden 100x's start happening. They're not going to happen all at the same exact time on the same exact day. I'm going to have a chance. So, and you're going to have a chance too. Don't get flustered. Keep an eye out for those strong SR flips and what you think could give you a strong risk reward and a strong move because that's really what you want to find. In the meantime, I'm just seeing, some consolidation here, potential range, potential chop, maybe a run of the low, and eventually more upside for BTC. Potentially going as low as, high 21s, maybe even low 21s, but breaking all the way back down to 19.4 or even 20 would not, it'd be good for a bounce, right? But it's not what you want to see. You want to see continuation. On huge breakouts, you want to see continuations. And that's about it. All right, have a great day, everybody.